in the past, what's your background in music, Tom?
In the past, so I started playing, I came from, Chicago, and we had socioeconomic background. We were poor, but the Park District offered a free guitar lessons. They were offering free guitar lessons and free piano, so free is a good thing when you don't have money. So obviously I went there, and the guy that was teaching guitar had some unorthodox methods. So he made it easy, and that was the inception of it.
When did you start playing?
Probably when I was 13, I think I was 13 years old. So.
Yeah, I started playing when I was 10. But I didn't start taking it seriously until I was about 16 and noticed that girls like guys who play guitar, so that gave me a new impetus to learn something other than just Panama by Van Halen or Black Dog by Led Zeppelin. Those were my two. Oh, and When I Come Around by Green Day.
Oh, good.
So my name's Desmond Muller of the Trailer Tapes.
Tom Nuzzo of the Trailer Tapes.
And the Trailer Tapes is a moniker that I've been using since 2005. It's had different iterations over time. We've recorded in a couple of different studios, and nothing really came of it. And I moved on with my life and started working for the railroad. Been doing that for 12 years. And back in 2020, I got laid off from the railroad and had a lot of time to think about things. And my kids have gotten to the age where I could play guitar without them trying to bang on it with drumsticks or knock it over, otherwise try and destroy my guitars, because I had hidden them when they were toddlers, because that was just bad news. And so I think a lot of people started playing during the 2020 pandemic, and I was one of those people. Just kind of started all over again. Threw away almost all my songs and just started writing new songs. And then I started wanting to share them, so I did Instagram. Started sharing the music on Instagram. My background is I used to play in a couple of country bands in North Carolina. This one specifically called Mama Said. I was a bass player and a songwriter. And we played about 3 days a week. So that's the most professional outfit I've ever worked for. We played, some big shows, some small shows, some shows that nobody showed up to, the typical. And I enjoyed it, but I also talk about socioeconomic background. My dad was always a big steady force in my life, where he always went to work. He never called in sick. Every day he went to work, and that sort of impacted me, and I felt like I was living in I was living in a trailer, working in a gas station, and I was asking myself, what the hell am I doing with my life? Playing in a country band. And so I went and started driving long haul truck because I wanted the insurance and I wanted a little bit more money, and that was fine. Did that for 3 years. Then I went to college, San Francisco State, and majored in English literature. Graduated in the 2008 financial crisis, so that was a pretty terrible time to graduate. And I couldn't find a job anywhere. Literally was trying to be a garbage man, couldn't get a job as a garbage man. Couldn't get a job at Kohl's or a department store. And so I was working at a temp agency, packing desks and boxes. And then I got let go from there because I wasn't very good at it. And eventually the railroad came calling, and I followed that across the country, and that's where Tom and I met. We both work for the railroad. You've been working here for how long?
18 years.
18 years.
Yeah. Our meeting was a little serendipitous. What you think, the music?
Yeah.
Yeah, because you had your barbecue, came
Right.
over for the barbecue, and what, normally I don't socialize too much, but you put on their guitars, and I'm like, I'm in. So I came, and the rest is history.
Wow. Yeah, that was fun. Like, all we did basically is play guitar the whole night. Mm-hmm. Barely even cooked any food. Didn't have any vegan food for you. So what are we focusing on right now? Right now, we're trying to get a set list together, a long set list. 3 hours is sort of the ultimate goal of polished music we can play at a bar or something along that lines. I, of course, want to get my songs out there. Tom, you probably want to get your songs out there too.
Which I think that's the goal too. We're trying to mix our music in with some music that's familiar.
Start over.
We want to mix our music with something that's familiar to people, so they're not just hearing our originals, but we can mix our originals in, and hopefully they'll be accepted widely along with the music.
That's a good point. I think going to a bar with 3 hours of original songs would be a recipe to never get called back again. So you gotta have the hits from the 90s to keep people buying drinks. What is the biggest challenge as a musician? I don't think there's any challenge at all. It's what I love to do.
But the biggest challenge to me is getting an opportunity to play and practice.
Yes, getting an opportunity when you're not at work.
Yeah, working, because we're both working.
Oh my God. Take a cut there. Charlie, you're a nuisance. So, yeah, the biggest challenge with music is just finding time to do it. There's no challenge. It's just something I love, and I don't care if it's good or bad or indifferent. I don't care what people think about it.
Right. I'm going to play regardless. So hopefully they'll enjoy it. But yeah, with Des and I, we're both working, and our schedule is insane. So we basically get together once a week, 3 hours a week.
Yeah, which is the best you can ask for. The fact that it's regular. We get, at least, I've had sort of a bummer of a 2023 so far, but we're getting back into it.
Yeah.
What advice would you give to your younger self? Well, I would tell to my younger self to stick with music.
I would say go harder. Go hard as you can. Don't
cop out and go drive truck, and
Yes.
You got something there. People like your songs. Continue.
Yeah.
Keep going.
I agree. Stick with it, and I would have went harder. I tell my younger self, just go at it.
What would you say? You drive a VW van to California and just...
It wasn't a VW van. I actually drove an AMC Hornet to California. Slept in a tent. Took like 8,000 mile tour around the country when I was 18 when I graduated from high school. It was fun.
Nice. And that was with a friend?
Yeah.
Like a best friend? Or?
Yep, my best friend Craig from high school. That was a good time.
Have you ever tried any unconventional mediums or techniques?
Yeah. Different instruments, like a mandolin, ukulele, harmonica. I don't know about different techniques. I never used a bow like Jimi Hendrix. Never tried a bow, but yeah, always experimenting with a sound and something new.
Yeah. I've been playing the pedal game, buying different pedals, trying to craft my guitar tone, and it's a big money pit. but it is fun. Getting into modulation pedals, tremolo, chorus, univibe, and most recently I've been getting into fuzz pedals. That's sort of new to me. But techniques, 2020 I started fingerpicking for the first time. Never done that in my life, so I went on YouTube, of course, and found, I don't remember the site, but somebody teaching basic fingerpicking, basic Atkins-style fingerpicking, and basically I wanted to be able to play Don't Think Twice by Bob Dylan. So that's what I set out to do, and I think I most of the way there, at least for that song. And when we're preparing a track, I do all the recording here in my basement studio. I have a Tascam DP-008 digital recorder that records to SD cards. And the reason I use that and not a traditional DAW is I find the computer overwhelming. There's too many options. When you're recording in the computer, you want to put delay in. Well, there's 1,000 different delays you can use, and you're going to spend all day going through different delays. If you just have a regular digital recorder, you don't have all those options, and you have less excuses for not recording. You just have to put it down on tape or on digital tape, and then see what it is. It's not going to be perfect. It never is. But you listen to those old records, they're not perfect either. Music is an imperfect medium.
That's what makes them perfect. There's no perfection in them,
Yeah, there's too much. I think there's too much auto-tune in the world today. And there's too much quantizing beats. Every beat is perfect. Everybody's playing to a click track. And, Led Zeppelin and stuff like that, they were all out of time.
Perfect. Brilliant. The music back then was brilliant.
So when we're transferring that to a live performance, basically we're just jamming and trying to make it sound good. It's a totally different thing recording. It's completely different recording a track and playing it live. It's two different skill sets. Even just singing into a microphone recording is much easier than singing into a PA system. For me, it's more disconcerting to hear myself over a speaker rather than just in the headphones. And what's the best reaction someone's had to my music? Well, I was playing in Mama Said back in 2002, and we were opening up for the Charlotte Symphony fireworks show, and so there was like 20,000 people there, and it was a real sound setup. We had front of house and rear of house sound, and I was playing one of my songs called Railroad Again, and I looked down, and there were people singing along. They had heard my song before, and they knew the words, and that just blew my mind. And so that's the best reaction I've ever heard. How about yourself?
Exactly the same. I was playing at the Beacon. We were playing covers of them.
Yeah.
Played a cover song, and I let the audience, they sing Clapton, Wonderful Tonight. And the whole audience sang it. I didn't sing it.
Nice.
It was great. I played it, they sang it. It was wonderful.
I hope people take away from my music the importance of, listening to lyrics. I put a lot of energy into my lyrics, and it's sort of like it's storytelling. I hope they get the story. I hope they listen to the lyrics and the music. But how about you?
it relates to people at different times, whatever they got going on in their life, so what you're singing about might not relate to them at that time, but they'll find it later down the road and they'll go, oh, I remember that song.
Yeah, don't try and, you're right, don't try and control what they get out of your
That's
music.
Right.
Just let them, you can't control what they get out of it. You're giving it to them to do with it what they want.
And I'm a conduit. The music comes to me. I write it. I write out the lyrics when they come. They never come timely. It's always in 3 a.m. I go, oh, there's a lyric. But it's when it comes, I write it down. Then arrange the song the way I want to play it, and then it just.
What do you think about altered states? You mentioned 3 a.m.
I think it's so because I believe it's conduit. You can tap into it. You can tap into the music anytime you want. And it's up there, it's in there, it's out there. So it comes to you at the most inopportune moments. You could be in the middle of work, you could be in the middle of a doctor's appointment. And when it comes, you have to be aware, and I think you have to jot it down. You have to get the idea for the music. And because, we talked about this before, writing songs. Sometimes the lyrics come, and the melody comes with the song later.
Yes.
And sometimes I can write the music all out and wait for the lyrics to fill the void in the music. It works both
ways. Yeah.
Yep.
A friend of mine, John Vanderslice, once said that if you're writing a song, if you got the inspiration, don't stop until it's finished. Don't go make a sandwich. Don't go get another beer. Just keep at it until you've done all that you can do with that song, because it might drift away and it'll be one of those unfinished songs.
The railroad's gonna call Daz right in the middle of it. They ruin everything.
All right. Thank you, Stan.